Nancy, welcome to Topper's Talk.
Sir, I would say that Nancy as a person is somebody who is always ready to help the person.
So, what was your optional?
Sir, my option was sociology.
So, what did you do differently from your first attempt and the second attempt?
That I will revise and then try to replicate.
How did you cycle your revision? Because this could help a lot of students here.
So, my first approach used to be to revise ethics and optional.
Hello, welcome all to another session of Topper's Talk. And today I have a very special guest with me, a person whom I know for almost 3 years now. 2 years or 3 years?
Sir,
3 years. Nice. That's been a long journey.
Yes.
And this is Nancy. She secured 34th rank this year. And she's been a very old and a good student, a very dedicated student, I must say. And Nancy, welcome to Topper's Talk.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wishes.
And nice to see you. Very happy to see you after a long time. And Nancy, let me start with a small question, very simple one. Suppose if I ask you, everybody sees you as a topper now. Everybody sees you as a ranker. So let me ask you a small question. What is Nancy as a person like?
Sir, I would say that Nancy as a person is somebody who is always ready to help the person.
Okay.
And she's very compassionate. And at the same time, sir, I would say that I am a consistent person. I just plan few tasks for myself, and I'm just after completing those tasks. Maybe the timeline might get delayed, but yes, I'm a person who is trying to be consistent and compassionate.
Okay, all right. Consistent, compassionate, sounds good. Asha, Nancy, when did you decide that this is going to be my career? Because if I know you well, you're a HBTI student.
Yes.
That were engineer. So when did you decide ki this is what is going to be my career? When was that?
Sir, actually it was from my school only. My father wanted me to be into civil services because he started preparing for civil services, but unfortunately he could not pursue that. So it was in my brain since my childhood that I have to prepare for civil services. But then he also wanted me to do engineering.
All right.
So that I do have a different kind of mindset also that engineering might give. So I pursued engineering, and then after completing my engineering, I came into this preparation.
ऐसा कभी लगा नहीं कि इंजीनियरिंग के बाद नहीं यार सिविल सर्विस कौन करेगा, इंजीनियरिंग looks good to me, ऐसा कभी हुआ नहीं? You didn't have that feeling?
Sir, I would say this is because I used to love these subjects like history, geography since my childhood, and I come from ICSE school. So in that they teach geography, etc. in a very interesting manner. So always I used to love those subjects. So I wanted to read them, but then after engineering I just read that.
Perfect. And so once you start this process, the first big problem is like selecting an optional. So what was your optional?
So my optional was sociology.
Sociology.
Yes,
now,
sir.
engineer taking sociology as an optional, that's a wonderful combination. But what were the factors? I mean, what made you take up sociology? And suppose if I ask you this, that imagine if you are taking the exam now, and if you're starting your attempt, for example,
Yes,
and you have to identify sociology as an option. What are the factors you look into?
So firstly, since I was from engineering background, and I love maths, so I just went into the syllabus of mathematics, and then I found कि okay, ये बहुत बड़ा है, so I'll not be able to do that. So one of the factors I think I considered was syllabus. Then sir, second was the resources also. Yes, it is practically true that you often look for resources. So I just went for the resources of sociology, and I found कि okay, I can do this. And I have PYQs and etc. and model answers also. So then, sir, third, I would say that it was my interest also.
Okay.
Because, sir, in sociology, you do study society, and it is very easily relatable also. So that also drifted me in taking sociology.
So basically 3 factors according to you. One is the syllabus. Syllabus was very attractive. Second was the resources. And third is your personal interest.
Yes, sir, my personal interest.
Now, once you started preparing for sociology, did you think it was a little bit of a big transition from engineering to writing sociology answers to studying sociology text? So how did you manage the transition? Because engineering, it's very scientific and logical. You don't deal with too much of words here. So how was the transition like? Because this is something a lot of engineers struggle when they take up humanities as an optional. They struggle with this transition because writing, words, vocabulary, new subject. So how did you make the transition?
So firstly, it was difficult in the sense that we often do not read a lot of books
Yes,
in
true.
engineering. So at that point of time, I faced a difficulty. But then, since I loved humanities subjects, geography, etc., in my school,
Okay.
so that's why I didn't struggle a lot to get into this reading habit. And sir, lastly, I would say that if you develop an interest, so then everything fades away, and it's just the practice. If you do it consistently, so eventually the struggle will fade and you will just love
And
doing
as
that.
it is, Nancy said, Nancy is known for consistency. So
Yes,
consistency
sir.
and practice. Okay, fair enough. Sounds good. Let's change gears now. Now it's been a long process. So what kept you motivated? Because I'm sure there must have been moments of self-doubt. कि यार ये मुश्किल हो गया. मतलब this is something like not possible. So I'm sure you must have had those moments of self-doubt. So how did you keep yourself motivated?
Sir, my first reason for motivation, for the continuous motivation, was my parents, sir. Actually, in them, I saw that they never doubted upon me.
Okay.
And because of them, I pushed myself. So one was the factor of parents. And the second, I would say that my friends, sir, they do played a very
Okay.
important role. Because in my first attempt,
So
I
can we
was...
call your friends as a support system?
Yes, sir, surely, sir. In my first attempt, since I had not practiced a lot, so I was crying, etc.
All right.
And then they were there for emotional support.
Okay.
So I would say that they played a very important role, and always I don't know how much manifestation works because I personally did not.
Okay.
But they manifested a lot for me.
All right. That's interesting.
Yes,
So
sir.
their manifestation worked for you.
Yes, sir, I would
Okay.
say.
Perfect.
So that actually they used to push me, ki, okay, you are capable, you do it, because I am a person who criticizes myself a lot.
Okay. Actually, self-criticism helps or doesn't help? Because I've seen students are very self-critical.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because so is it good to have or is it very negative to have? Don't you think if you become too self-critical, what happens is that you start suffering from little low self-esteem? ऐसा कभी होता है? Or it's good to be a little self-critical?
Sir, I would say Buddha's middle path here.
Okay.
Because excess of anything is bad. Because if you go for too much of self-criticism, then you affect your productivity and your work.
Okay.
So in that sense, it is not good. But yes, little bit of self-criticism pushes you for more better work. So in that sense...
So self-criticism can be self-learning also.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's move on to something else. Now, I remember you telling me this is your second attempt.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you change anything? In your first attempt, I think you got IRMS, I guess, in the
Yes,
first
sir.
attempt. And this is a second attempt. So, did you make some changes in the study pattern or what was it that you did differently? Because this is going to help students who are going to improve this year, who got a rank and want to improve the service. So, what did you do differently from your first attempt and the second attempt? Was there a very big change or just a little bit tinkering here and there? Aisa kuch? What was it?
Sir, actually, whatever changes I made was within the 2.5 months because I was into the cycle, so I didn't get a lot of time to change something. So I would say that actually I just thought in this attempt that I will revise and then try to replicate.
Okay.
Because it is the replication part and the execution part that is missing at times.
Okay.
So I had your ethics content, but I was not able to replicate that much in my previous attempt. So I just tried ki, okay, I'll just brainstorm a lot of things. Even if I don't have the time to write, so I'll brainstorm. So I used to have my friends for discussion.
Okay.
Then we used to just see the question, put a timer. And then within 2-3 minutes, we used to brainstorm and then just check that what points I could write, what points they could write. And then highlighting the model answers, etc. from the coaching and then revising and then...
Okay, so basically more of revision, that sort of replication and revision. Okay, now that brings me a very important skill. You know, everybody talks about exam, everybody talks about books and studies, but nobody talks about study skill. So study skill means you need to have a revision plan.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what was your revision strategy? I mean, you used to do it weekly or say once in 2 weeks. How did you cycle your revision? Because this is going to help a lot of students here.
So firstly, for the first iteration, you need to have a plan that, okay, we will complete this much in these many days. So my first approach used to be to revise ethics and optional. And for optional, it was to be supposed to be 1 month, and ethics in 15 days target I used to make.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just revise it once in 15 days. And then for other subjects, I used to chalk out. So I would say that for example, 15 days for ethics and 15 days for GS1, then 15 days for GS2.
So basically, you had a 15-day revision cycle for all the
Right.
subjects.
Yes, sir. And parallelly, I used to do optional.
Okay.
Optional was daily.
Optional was daily,
Daily.
but the GS was 15-day cycle.
Yes, to complete the entire GS 15 days. And then when less time, then I just, for example, GS3, I could revise in 12 days. So I just reduced time. And then for second iteration, then took less time. Within 5 days, just
So that's a good strategy to have. 15 days revision of GS subjects,
Yes.
then you do optional every single day.
Yes.
So that worked.
Yes,
That
sir.
works like a magic, I guess.
Yeah, I
Right.
would.
Okay. Now let's come down to something called GS 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Because being a science person, engineer, so how do you tackle these humanities subjects here? How did you manage it? The sources, the notes, how much time you devoted collecting notes or newspapers and all this? What was your basic go-to sources here?
So my primary sources firstly were the notes of GS foundation course that I did at NEXT IAS. But apart from that, we need to integrate a lot of things.
That's what I wanted to know. I mean, what
Yes,
all?
sir.
I mean, what were your sources of integration? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
where did you pick up stuff from?
Sir, actually, I just firstly went through the PYQs and just analyzed that what all contents are lagging in the basic notes. So accordingly, I just did a lot of Googling or etc. going after the model answers so that I have a lot of content. Sir, I would say that I used to, for example, there is a topic judicial review and 3-4 questions are asked related to it. So I would write all those questions and analyze what is the core of all the 4 questions and then make notes out of it. And then for the value addition would be from the newspapers. For example, something related to governors comes into the newspaper. So then I would go and then write in the notes. So in that manner, I did the value addition, and of course the mains advanced course classes
okay.
helped me
All right.
in integrating, because since I did foundation in 2022, so it
So
need to
advanced
be
course helped. Okay.
updated. Yes, sir. So advanced course helped.
Now, talk about content. There's a lot of content available.
Yes.
So it's not about having the content, it's about filtering. So did you have any method to filter out, okay, this is not needed? So how did you filter out the content?
Sir, since I said that I just focus on the PYQ, so what I used to do that I look into, suppose if I am looking after the model answers, so I would go through 2 or 3 websites and then try to understand that which is fitting more into the demand of the question. Sir, it was a very time-taking process.
Yes,
I would say, yes, sir. It is
there's
a
a
very
filtering out is time-taking.
It is.
I mean, this is one of the things where people get lost, because students get lost because they waste a lot of time filtering out information. That's why I wanted to understand what was your process, because this is going to help a lot of them.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I would say that it was because of the syllabus and the PYQs that I used to stick to that content only. And whatever I felt that, okay, this is something which I can recall, which I can remember, and which will help me and which is hitting the core demand of the question. So that content I used to filter it, and
Okay.
rest I would just leave aside.
All right. So, okay. Now let's come to prelims. Since you mentioned the word prelims, let's come to prelims. Now prelims is on the horizon. So what was your prelim strategy? I'm sure you must have, because prelims is something like which is very, very tricky, very tricky.
Yes.
So what was your go-to strategy for prelims? How do you manage that?
So firstly, I would like to say that I'm very afraid of current affairs.
Okay.
So
All right.
I always relied on my
I think
static
I think most of us are afraid of current affairs,
Yes.
right? Because the volume is huge, and what to study, what not to study, and it looks like everything is important.
Yes, sir. So when I started my preparation, looking after the current affairs, I was thinking whether I will be able to do it or not, just because of the current
Okay.
affairs. So, sir, I would say that I used to read my books and the notes, the static notes that were there. And apart from that, I used to go just for the annual magazines which are there in the market. And then more focus was on practicing the test, etc.
Okay.
And then developing a skill in solving those questions in which you might not be aware of the whole information. How to do kind of elimination, or how to use your peripheral knowledge in coming to the answer.
Okay.
So that was.
So for your GS paper 1 prelims, you focused more on current affairs and your peripheral idea, right? Subjects basically.
Sir, the standard books
The
and
standard
then the yearly magazines for the current affairs. So
Okay.
I would say that current affairs are just like cherry on the cake.
Okay.
So
And
that
any
much. And for CSAT.
specific strategy you had for CSAT? Because being an engineer, reading comprehension might have been a little bit of a challenge for you. Might have been. So any specific strategy you used?
So firstly, to be honest, I used to skip the assumption questions because I used to make them wrong.
Okay. Oh, you skipped it completely.
Yes, sir. Assumption questions, I never used to do that because
all
in
right.
2025 attempt, for each question, there was an assumption question.
All right.
So I skipped the assumption questions. I just went with the normal questions in which inference or etc. is asked. So I would say that in that PYQ helped me a lot. I just read comprehensions many a times because I know I am from engineering background, but I wanted to have a holistic preparation. I cannot rely completely on maths given the unpredictability
Yes.
of exam. So PYQs, I used to study with my friend. We actually, what we did that we used to sit for 2:30 to 4:30 and do the whole paper and then come back and just try to figure out that what words they gave in the options that made the option incorrect.
Okay.
So in that manner, we used to figure out that, okay, in this way, the UPSC tricks, because two options are a kind of that can be eliminated very
Yes.
easily.
But the
two are left. So after going again and again and looking that, okay, this little bit information, they try to twist and then why this option was wrong.
Okay.
So PYQs, I just stick to PYQs in CSAT.
Okay. So
just did
PYQ
that.
always helped.
Yes, sir, PYQs always.
Okay.
help.
And all right. Good. Now let's come down to the mains now. In mains, there's something called essay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Must have been challenging.
For me, it was
Yeah,
because
that's why I'm asking you. Must have been challenging.
Yes, sir.
So how did you go about it?
Sir, in first attempt, I scored 82 and
Okay.
then now I have scored 123. So I can say that what I did was not going after that kind of pestle approach or not sounding too mechanical and focusing upon the natural flow of the essay.
Okay.
And then second, sir, what I did that, okay, everybody starts the essay with anecdotes. But then I tried, okay, how can I make it more engaging?
All right.
Yes.
So instead of you change your strategy.
So little bit of changes. So in that, sir, I would say I took help from ChatGPT.
Okay. All right. I'll come to ChatGPT a little later. Okay.
So, sir, for example, I have to write a story of suppose Dashrath Manji.
Okay.
So then if I give a prompt to ChatGPT, okay, give me this is a story in a very engaging manner, which is appealing, etc. So then it would say that, okay, if you have the faith and hope, even the tallest mountains bow down. Bow down.
Yes.
So I know these sentences we all know, but then when we are writing, it does not click in our minds. So that's why I just wrote some of the stories in this manner and tried to understand, because it's not easy to replicate the whole. So I used to paraphrase and just learn the important words or the attractive lines that were there and try to replicate that.
Okay, so basically your strategy about essay was to make it more engaging.
Engaging. And just second, one more thing
yes,
I would like to add.
Please.
Sir, in my first attempt, I did not do the brainstorming very nicely for the essay. So I would say that when you have that time period, when you just get the question paper, so do the brainstorming in a very effective manner, because then you will not have to think. In my first attempt, I used to go, I had done brainstorming, but then I was getting stuck in between, and then I was thinking and writing, and then paper completion became a challenge. Till last moment, I was, before 5 minutes, I was writing only. And this time I had 15 minutes left to do proofreading, etc.
So basically, two things you'll recommend. One is brainstorming, and second is make it more engaging. Yeah,
yes.
Makes sense, because when I read something as a reader, I like to engage with what the person is writing, right? Mechanical does not work. True.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, now let's come down to interview preparation now. Okay. So because the window is very less, so how did you go about it?
Sir, for interviews again, I have role of my friends.
Acha, friends, okay.
Yes, sir. Actually, they used to take my mock every alternate day.
Oh, your friends are taking mocks. Nice. That's something
Sir,
new.
actually 10-20 minutes they used to ask questions from the DAF so that
Okay.
More and more number of questions from DAF can be asked. Of course, we come to the coachings, etc. for mocks, but then for daily practice, if you need, so we cannot go to mocks daily.
So that means all the credit goes to your friends. Seriously.
Sir, I would say a lot of credit goes to friends.
Goes to your friends because they were there for your prelims brainstorming, they were there for your mocks also,
Yes,
interview
sir.
mocks also. Nice.
So, sir, and also, sir, one of the major servers was connected with me. So,
Okay.
he also helped me. And then, of course, coaching mocks I used to give for the formal setting practice.
Okay.
And for, of course, when we come to the coaching, so we get a lot of questions related to DAF. But then for everyday practice to have a speaking skills, to improve the speaking skills. So, I used to have alternate days, little mock interviews with my friends.
So when you say speaking skills,
Yes.
now how to improve speaking skills? That will be something which people like to know.
Sir, I got suggestions that do the mirror practice, although
Okay.
I did not do a lot.
Okay.
So, in future, if I want to improve more, I would do that.
Okay.
So, maybe this mirror practice helps a lot because I heard from many that, okay, mirror practice do works.
Okay.
And then just reading the editorial in your own words, standing in front of
Okay.
mirror, that would work. And then, sir, third is that speak as much. I used to record my audios also.
Okay.
And then
yes, recording works, I guess.
recording works. So I used to just say that, Nancy, okay, tell me this, and then I used to start answering, and then just listen to what I have said, and then prepare a good answer so that before my interviews I can listen what I prepared.
All right.
In that manner.
Makes sense. Now, it's been a very long process. Okay, must have been ups and downs. Did you ever have a moment, very low moment, which you felt, where you felt, okay, इसके बाद नहीं, मतलब कि I'm done. Did you ever have that moment? In
Sir,
3
low
years?
moments are there.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. You start self-doubting also. But then again, you have to, sir, I would say that if the goal is clear in your mind, because since it was my, I decided in my childhood that I'll pursue UPSC. So I wanted to give my 2-3 attempts diligently. If I would have failed in these attempts, so then I would have gone for some plan B, etc. So I just said that, okay, now there is some scope of improvement, and that kept me motivated.
Okay.
Because I could see that, okay, this I don't have the complete short notes, etc. Or there are some things to improve. For example,
So,
in essay.
What was your pickup mantra? Okay, if somebody is feeling very low, so what is the pickup mantra you will recommend?
Sir, it depends on individual to individual.
What
I used
was
to
your
listen
pickup mantra?
songs, sir.
Okay, what kind of songs?
Sir, Hindi songs I do listen
Okay.
to, and then
Any motivational song you would like to share, which really acted as a pick-me-up?
sir, there is one Kar Har Maidan Fateh is also there.
Okay, all
So
right.
that I used to listen, and then in my last year's DAF I wrote about songs. So one song I heard that मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया.
All right.
So that was also there.
Okay, music helps to.
Sir, it helps to heal. Sharing what you are feeling, and then music. And not this year, but yes, last year I used to listen to songs and then drawing. I used to
Okay.
draw, looking into I used to download a picture or something, gods or
All
etc.
right.
Scenery, etc.
Okay.
I used to listen to songs and then drew and try to draw something.
Now, you're the right person to ask this question.
Yes.
Now, suppose if I ask you, what are the 3 things aspirant who's starting this preparation right now must avoid? 3 things they must avoid.
So going after too many resources.
Okay.
This.
Going
Sec-
after too many
Too
resources.
many resources.
All right.
Then second would be if they start self-doubting, until and unless you give your, I would say 100%, or maybe your 2-3 attempts. So till then, please don't doubt yourself.
Okay.
And sir, third
So that
is
means second is like be persistent.
be persistent.
At least for the
At least for
first 2 attempts at
two
least.
or 3 attempts. Yes.
Okay.
And third is that don't avoid syllabus and the PYQs. So
Okay.
they are something that will help you to understand the exam. And if you understand the exam, then hopefully you can sail through this exam.
Okay, so these are 3 advices you have.
Yes.
Strict don't do's. Okay. Now, what are one of the biggest myths that you heard in this whole thing? Biggest myths about whatever, answer writing, about this preparation. What is the biggest myth which you don't believe in?
Sir, I used to do value addition, but not in all the points. I
Okay.
was not able to do that. So if I used to write 8 points, then in 5, 6 points I used to do the value addition. I don't know how much it works for each and everybody. It has worked in a different way. So
Okay.
this I would say that I didn't do a lot of value addition. I did. I just wrote some facts, etc., to substantiate, but not in all the points.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So it was a nice, I should say, nice learning from you, your strategies, your ideas, the way you picked picked yourself up whenever you have bouts of self-doubt. And it was nice to learn that your friends have been a great pillar of support besides your family.
Yes.
And okay, before we close, how did Next IAS help you? What was our contribution?
Yes, sir, of course it was. So the basic notes and the understanding that I developed, the conceptual clarity for economy, etc. And for ethics, though, I owe you because I did just the mains advanced course. Your examples are really good. So that helped me a lot and I cannot forget that. And then I was a person who was not much connected with the teachers. So though their contribution was there for me, but yes, in-person
Yeah,
touch
I
and
have
connect was
noticed
not
that
there.
because I've seen you in class, but I've never seen you walking up to me and talking to me. Because I've seen your friends talking to me, but I've never seen you walking up to me. So I remember that you're one of those shy persons. It's okay.
Yes, sir. So I would say the basic fundamentals are from Next IAS only. And then, so the teachers, I'm really thankful to the whole Next IAS. And so second, the friendly support. I mean, student friendly, sir. I would say that if I wanted any classes, even after giving my mains, I could not complete some of the mains classes of Vibhash, sir. And then I came back and asked that I want to do that. Maybe it will help for my next mains. So I got the access.
Okay, all
So
right.
that was also
Perfect. On this happy note,
Yes.
Nancy, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your ideas. Thank you. It's been a great learning experience from you also. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All
so
the
much.
best for your future. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you so much, sir.